Okay, students, so here I've got my modular wall scene file set up. It's open. This is just the demo wall. So I'm going to close this. Actually, I'm going to switch over to my layers, turn on my modular wall layer, turn off my warm-up practice, and I'm going to start with our base wall. This is the if you convert these to feet from inches, you'll see 12 feet by 8 inches by 9 feet. So that's 12 feet wide, 8 inches in length or depth, the thickness of the wall, and then 9 feet tall. So we'll use this to just quickly set up some kind of procedural trim. It's procedural in that we can continue to make modifications to it, and it will update for us in the workflow that I'll show you here. So ultimately, we are still going to be using Boolean, but we're going to combine that with another spline modeling technique. Specifically, we're going to use Loft for this. Now, just some things to quickly set this up. We know that a loft needs two shapes, two spline-based objects. That is, one as a path and the other as a profile or shape object. So to start off, I'm actually just going to make a line for my path. And if I use snaps here, and they're set to vertex, I can just click and drag on the top corner of my wall and plop a point at the far end. Just right clicked to end that. And just to clean that up some, I want to make sure that my two vertices on that line are set to corner. So I'm going to select them both, right click, and then just put them on corner. That's going to make sure that if there's any weirdness with the kind of the way that the line is stretched between the points, corner is going to make sure it's just a straight line with no curve influence or anything like that. So that's really helpful there. So that'll be kind of where we can initiate our position for our trim. Next, I'm just going to move to the side here, which is going to be the right or left. I'm going to change this manually to the right side. And this point right here represents where the position of that line is. So just to get started, I'm going to use a rectangle. I'll turn off my snaps here because I do want to freehand this a little bit, but I'm just going to start with a rectangle and put in some rough inch-based dimensions here. So up and down here, I'm going to call that 4 inches because my scene is set to inches in the system units. I can just type in 4, it'll come out generic, but I know that that means 4 inches. And not too worried about the width, which is how far it's going to come off of the wall for right now, because I'm going to get into the modify panel and apply the edit spline modifier here. Let's go back to my perspective view, and we're going to continue to work on this just with a little bit of change in our workflow right here. So what I'm going to do is actually make a reference. So I'm going to make a reference copy of this. This is my duplicate, this is my original, but I need these to kind of switch places, but not necessarily. What I'm going to do with this one is to go ahead and start my loft, but rather than starting with my shape, I'll start with the spline here, the line that's the path that's in place already. I'm going to navigate to my create panel, go to geometry, compound objects, activate loft. And remember that loft gives you the option to either get a path or get a shape. In this case, I selected my path, so I need to get shape. And then I'm going to use the reference copy there to get my trim started. So now I can kind of move this object down, but I'm confident that it's the right length because of the precautions that I took with my snaps earlier. If you choose to, go at this a slightly different way, you can always trim your Boolean object at the end to make sure that the dimensions of your wall are correct. Here I'm just using snaps to make sure the position of my trim is good. I'm going to adjust some of the parameters of my loft object under the the skin parameters. I'm going to reduce the steps for this as well as the shape steps. The path steps and the shape steps can be reduced because all that's doing is subdividing this along the path or creating more articulation points, but I'm going to put more in manually in just a moment. Then I can go back and adjust those to be a little higher if I want. So now I can go to work on my object here. And in this case, I probably could have used just an instance. But to simplify this, I can go to my original and activate my edit spline. And this is where I'll use something like refine to add in some more points. I'm going to turn off my snaps here so I have a little bit more control. And I'm carefully, because I'm in perspective mode, I want to be careful to only move on one axis. So a better workflow would just be to go back to my orthographic mode for the right view. So I'm going to go to right and I'll just zoom back in. I'm going to come out of subobject mode and just move this a little closer. This is actually kind of extra at this point. But that's just to get these in the same frame. Then I'll start adjusting. And I see there that the path is actually going in the reverse direction. So that's an easy fix. You can do one of two things. You can either decide to model on the opposing side of your shape for your loft, or we can access the path here and edit the path direction to be reversed. So all I'm doing here is going into the kind of like the operands here. It's the makeup of my loft, and I'm activating the path so that I can expose the line. And what I'm going to do is either take the vertex, find which one is first. I'm going to isolate this with Alt Q, and let's see, I'm going to find my loft and turn that off. So just referring to the original line here, I can select the opposite end and make that first. And I just want to make sure that that carried over to my other object, that is my loft exactly. So yeah, so when I switch the directions or the position of make first, it basically reversed the direction of my spline. So now I have my trim facing and oriented the way I want. Of course, you could also use mirror on your loft object, and that would just flip it around, in this case along the y-axis, just to face the other way, and you go right back into your workflow for making edits. So again, I'm going to go to my right view, and continue to make some interesting shapes here. I'm just going to convert this to smooth. Okay, now this is staying rigid for reasons related to the skin parameters. So I need to ramp up the shape steps a bit so that it can articulate those curves that I'm adding in now. So go back to my object, and that means all of these things that will get some curvature will perform a little better, or at least show up a little better visibly. So in this case, you want to keep an eye on whatever you're using for reference, and continue to think about where you need your details and the sort of details that you're trying to accomplish. Here, I'm going to round this out with a fillet. This one I'm going to split with a chamfer. And just continue to make details that I'd like. Now, I'm going to go back into my perspective view once I'm finished. And we'll need to acknowledge that my loft object was originally kind of sunken in. So I'm going to pull this out along the y-axis a bit. I do want that overlap, but I don't want it to cut into the detail that I was working on. And from here, I can go ahead and activate my Boolean operation for my wall. So I'm going to select the wall object, apply the Boolean command, compound object command, and add operands. Add in the wall trim there. Now, this dark spot here is just a result of how the new geometry is being calculated. That's not too much of a concern at this stage when you're just using Boolean to get started on things. You don't want to start making corrections on this until after you've done all of your Boolean operations, and that'll be including, you know, the cutout for the door, the window, and if your extra object needs in a cutout, you'll be mindful of that. But this allows you to use Loft, a spline modeling technique, and that is technically a compound object technique as well, but you're combining it into a Boolean operation. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.